Hello, I'm Richard Murphy. I want to talk about modern monetary theory. We've already done a video on the basics of modern monetary theory, but of course anything that introduces a major new idea in macroeconomics requires more explanation than can be done in a few minutes. One of the particular criticisms that many people have made of modern monetary theory is that it isn't concerned with inflation. And I find that quite astonishing because, if anything, I don't know a theory that is more concerned with inflation than modern monetary theory is. Let's just explain why this is an issue. What modern monetary theory says is that a government can create as much money as it wishes without having to be worried about the amount of debt that it apparently owes, so long as there are real resources in the economy to put to use with the money that is going to be spent. When there are no real resources left to spend on, then modern monetary theory says that you either have to tax more to free up the resources for the government to buy, or you will get inflation. And it says that inflation is not desirable. It could not be clearer. The issue is that modern monetary theory says that if you are at or near full employment and you get inflation, then the way to control that inflation is not using interest rates. So MMT, as we call it, is in conflict with conventional economics, which says interest rates are the way to control inflation. Instead, it says you tax more. You take the excess money that exists in the economy out of circulation and literally destroy it. You cancel its purchasing power by taxing more money out of the economy. Now, some people argue that isn't possible. Some people argue that governments wouldn't do that, although I have no idea why they make that claim, because governments have been quite willing to put up interest rates when it's been uncomfortable to do so, to also control inflation with very little effect, whereas this is a very direct and immediate impact, particularly if done with something like value-added tax. But the point is that MMT has got a complete theory of inflation. But what it does is something novel. It refuses to say we must use the blanket instrument, interest rates, which penalise, for example, everyone with a mortgage, and instead says we should use a targeted instrument, taxation, to take inflation down. And I mean targeted because, in fact, what MMT says is that you might choose to increase taxes on wealth, you might choose to increase taxes only on the wealthiest. You might choose to increase tax only on some goods and services and not all of them. So you would actually take into consideration, when targeting inflation, precisely who you want to have reduce their demand in the economy rather than penalise everyone. Now, what the point I'm making is MMT thinks inflation matters enormously. And it also thinks that we can control it. All it says is that we control it in a way that is different to conventional economics, that is fairer than conventional economics, and which I believe will be more effective because it can be targeted more precisely towards the causes of inflation. And as a consequence, I believe that modern monetary theory has an answer to inflation, which most people claim it hasn't, and which does instead make it a better instrument for control if we ever see inflation again. I'm Richard Murphy, thanks for watching. If you're interested in modern monetary theory or any other topic around economics that we're going to tackle, please click the subscribe button below this video. Follow me on Twitter @Richard J. Murphy. Follow my blog, Tax Research UK, and I'll see you again soon.